Beats Planet.
Hello. Voch Lombardi. Hold on. Wait a minute. What? Hold on. Let me cut this. Hold on. Let me cut this.
Yo, I want to talk about terrible timing. My guy got the worst timing. Hey, but look, check it out. Welcome to Voch Lombardi Live. He is your host, the Lombardicus. Check him out, VOCHLOMBARDI on Twitter. I am your co-host, Will Skywalker. Nah, go ahead, bro. Do your thing, man. We good?
Hey, Mr. Willie Joe. We good? We good. What's up, y'all? Oh shit! What a day, man. That's a
That's a first.
That's kind of how this day is going, Will Steele. That's kind of how this is going, man. That's kind of how this is going, bro. Like, first, shouts out to Voch Lombardi Live. Appreciate y'all for being here. Hit the social media buttons, like, subscribe, comment. I'm Voch Lombardi. Yo, I'm being point guard about the best in the business, Will Steele.
Yeah, I got heard him Mr. Willie jump. Share, everybody.
There we go.
Share.
Dog.
I'm in tears. How we start off the show like this, dog?
We've been doing this for a long, and I don't know what told me to take a sip of water. Yeah, it's just natural when you use the bathroom. You just take a sip of water, man. Like we even when you was in kindergarten, we go line up, we go to the bathroom, we come out, we drink water. It's just a habit. I say, Will, go ahead and run the theme song. Hit the bathroom real quick. I come back, take a sip of water, and this is what happens here. This is Colin Cowherd would never. David Hellman would never. Whatever. Would never. But we are here, man. We're here for another episode of Voch Lombardi Live, riveting episode of Voch Lombardi Live. Pardon my workout clothes, man. These are my gym clothes, man. And I normally clean my face and throw on the True Classic Tee. Shouts out to True Classic promo code Voch for 20% off, 25% off. I normally throw on a True Classic Tee, man, but dog, it's so much work that we putting on, and we trying to get the film sessions out because the film is on fire. Trying to get y'all that, trying to make sure the invoices is good, make sure we getting paid. Somebody from the volume send me a survey. It's a lot going. I ain't even responding. It's a lot going on, but we're gonna bring you your content for today. Now we played Monday. We played Monday Night Football, so the schedule kind of gets pushed back just a little bit. So normally this day we'll be breaking down the other team's offense, right? But we kind of in the middle of that. So we're going to get one last review for the Giants, and we're going to give like general thoughts going into the Washington Football Wizards. And then tomorrow I'm going to watch film tonight, actually. But then for tomorrow, I'm going to break down, me and Will Steele, we'll break down the film that we saw on the Washington Football Wizards, their offense and their defense, and hopefully give you guys a prediction. All right. Will Steele, you doing all right?
I'm doing great, man. What an intro. I can't get over that, but let's boogie.
All right, man. We doing all right, man. Let me move this over here. We good. If y'all want to call into the show, the number to call in is 202-926-1127, access code 309104. That's done. And I also need to text my behind the scenes volume guy, my guy Paul, and I need to tell him film session in the gulag. Send. So y'all gonna get some film after the show for the day. Also, for those of you that are subscribed to my Patreon, right? This film session that we're gonna put out later is a highlighted version of the film that I ultimately did watch and that I'm gonna put on Patreon. It's about 5 or 7 plays. But if y'all want the full blown film session, go to patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. We'll get some good work over there. Well, still. I watched the Cowboys defense, sir. The Cowboys defense versus the Giants, and the one thing I came away with, right? I didn't want to give Saquon credit. Saquon did his own thing, whatever. I could have gave Russell Shepard credit, could have gave, whoever, Dayball, whoever. I think Daniel Jones needs the most credit, Will Steele, from what I watched in that film. Daniel Jones probably had 35 pass attempts, something like that, roughly.
And 35 pressures.
And 35 pressures, Will. That's what I'm saying. Will, for what we did to Daniel Jones, right? It ain't like Daniel Jones had a whole bunch of pockets. This is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration. I ain't bullshitting. Daniel Jones probably had 3 plays the whole game where he wasn't pressured. And one of them was like a quick screen or something like that. Will, we were on him. We was in his pocket, Will Steele, white on rice. Daniel Jones was able to do nothing. I actually wanted to do this D-Law film session. And it was going to be the 3 D-Law sacks and something else that D-Line did, right? But as I'm watching the damn D-Law sacks, I had to call Paul and tell him, Paul, fix the thumbnail. This is what I wanted to say. D-Law had 3 sacks, but he could have had 7. Will Steele, he could have had 7. A couple, sacks he missed, via missed tackle. A couple of sacks he missed via Daniel Jones just being a little more swifted than him. He missed 1 sack just because Donovan Wilson got there first. You know what I mean? And if you look at what the overall defensive line did, I was talking to Rome about this when he called into the show Monday. I talked to Rome about this, and it wasn't Rome. It was somebody. It was Jay Tuck, I believe. And it was almost like a snowball effect, Will Steele. I want to get your opinion on this. That this defense has so much depth and so many pieces, it turns into this stacking, this snowball of sorts. I ain't got a better word for it. I'll think of a better analogy or whatever, right? But if you're going to take Micah Parsons away from the game, just think about what that means, right? That just means he didn't go crazy. You know what I mean? Because he was still effective. He was still involved. His presence was still felt. And he played much more linebacker this week than he did DN, which was last week. And that was to be expected. But if Micah don't go crazy, you still put attention on him. Saquon still got to deal with him. The tight end still got to deal with him. D-Law goes crazy, right? And then when you attempt to pressure or to, fix the pressure that D-Law is putting on, alleviate the pressure that D-Law is putting on, they start to adjust. I start seeing them put people over there, tight ends and other things over there. Then Dorrance starts to do things, right? And then Dorrance gets busy. He gets a sack. He gets a hit. Dorrance had a sack that was taken away because of a pressure downfield or something. Like he could have had 2 sacks, right? Dorrance get busy. Dante Fowler gets a hit. All these dudes are building this energy off of each other, Will Steele. And I just think that that's the rest. Sam Williams was fighting to get involved. You know what I mean? Like he'll come in, he'll make his plays, and he'll get his effort sacks. A lot of it comes from, attention from the other guys, but a lot of it is also energy too. Like Sam's energy was, everybody else getting busy. I got to get some too. And I just love the snowball effect that these D linemen build for each other, Will Steele. Do you have an opinion on that, sir?
Oh, real quick. I just think it comes from the top and Dan Quinn. I think he instills this confidence in them, and they have this confidence in year 2 that everybody from the front to the back of the defense is honestly, maybe aside from maybe 1 or 2 players, but are playing at a high to solid level. And that's not normal. Usually you have maybe 5-6 dudes playing at a high level when everybody else is average or below average. Or maybe you only get 2 dudes that play at a high level when everybody else is average to below average. This entire defense, I think, is almost this entire defense is playing at a high to good to average level. And you hear what I said there? That means there's not many weaknesses. That's hard.
Indeed.
It's hard.
Indubitably. On that note, let's get into this one right here. Dan Quinn had his coordinated press conference. Y'all know I don't be want to hear nothing but what Kellen or Bones is saying.
I'll listen to boring.
Yeah, I'm not listening to Kellen. Mike McCarthy has better interviews than Kellen now, which is crazy. But I'm going to listen to what Dan Quinn had to say. They asked Dan Quinn about D-Law and the takeaways on the defensive line, or just on the defense in general. This is what Dan Quinn had to say.
As you're, kind of talking about the game and the matchups, I was really pleased with D-Law, and so I know some people thought he was a forgotten man around here. I promise you, inside this building, that man is not forgotten, and around the league, he is not. So I thought that was, such a cool thing for him to go, and I think it kind of speaks really to the versatility of the group. And when you're trying to play good defense, it's not just one thing you're after, and I know a lot of people talk about takeaways, and we certainly haven't had the share of them that I hope we were going to get and that we will. But I would say if you really want to be excellent, you got to attack in all ways. You got to rush. You got to create takeaways. You got to, play good in the red zone. You got to play good on third down. Those are things that in every way you're attacking from every angle and trying to use different guys to do that. And so it was kind of cool to see some guys have some new ones. Saw a cool blitz by Donovan off the edge to create some, and having different guys step up with different roles. That's what I love most about this group. They're unselfish. They love to battle for one another, and we're going to keep pushing us hard to see our standard of where we can get to. And because I think we have a lot of room to grow, and that's what we'll certainly be pushing the guys on this.
Different guys, different roles. I understand. I get it. And I remember this Cowboy defense, right? I don't know if I want to use the word discipline or whatever, right? But I do remember this Cowboy defense where it kind of seemed like you had a handful of dudes playing hero ball. You know what I'm saying? Where D-Law was trying to make all the plays, or, insert a guy, David Irvin, will try to make all the plays. You'll fast forward, you'll see Jalen Smith. He'll try to make all of his plays. And I think, and this goes back to conversations we've been having all season, Will, still, about everybody has their role now. everybody is secure in their role now. And this year 2 thing, right? Dan even said in the press conference, I know I ain't got it on here because this was a last minute job, but Dan was saying that, in this year 2, we're not guessing anymore. We're not, trying to figure things out. We're not mismatching as much. We know exactly where we need to be, exactly what our roles are. And I love that, man. I love the idea of everybody just has whatever their thing is, they're bringing that to the table. When you look at this run defense, and look, shouts out to Neville Gallimore, because we haven't heard a thing from Neville Gallimore since Bohanna took his job in terms of, like, if somebody's irate, if somebody's whatever. But when Neville gets on the field, like, you see Neville, like, he does his job, and then Neville and Bo can be on the field together, and they ride together. I see them dap each other up after the play. They hype each other up after the play, man. And I think, defensive continuity is a thing. And I think that's where we get a lot of these sacks, where we get a lot of this turnaround and, these pressures. I said on my film session, which is dropping after the show, if you look at the Dorrance Armstrong sack, it came from Bohanna tearing shit up in the middle, right? But it wasn't just Bohanna simply tearing shit up in the middle, because look, if Bohanna would have engaged the center and beat the shit out of him and then get rid of the center to try to make a play, then maybe that center blocks Dorrance Armstrong, right? But the fact that he's as anchor guy, like, look, I'm anchor guy. Let me just smoke the center and Dorrance just come off my back and he get the sack. And then I'm going to celebrate with Dorrance after the sack. That's what Dan Quinn's talking about. And I think that's incredible work. Will, Steele, you got something on that?
No, man. Well put. I can't add anything better than that on top.
Okay, well, add something to this then, Will. Still, the idea, we haven't gotten as many takeaways as we did last year, right? That's clear and that's apparent. But it seems like we're gonna fucking double up on sacks. That seems like, you know what I mean? And I do think the takeaways will come. We may not get as many takeaways as last year, and I do think the 11 Diggs interceptions had a lot to do with those. But bro, like, Micah was the sack guy with his 4. And Dorrance has 4 now, right? Doesn't Dorrance got
3? He would have 4 if they gave him that extra sack. He had 2 last game, or two week 2-1 last week.
Cool. Took that one away. Fowler got 1 sack, I believe. D-Law caught everybody in one game. You know what I mean? And then you have your auxiliary sacks. Van Der Esch going to get a sack. Barr going to get home at some point. You see it because they're using him a lot more in these pass rush situations as well. So that's going to be interesting when he actually gets his sack. Micah's going to be the leader of his whole thing. Van Der Esch is, doing his thing, getting his sacks. Billy D going to get home at some point, Will Steele. I'm getting to a point to where I'm valuing sacks over. I ain't gonna say that yet, but go ahead.
We're not there yet. The turnovers are gonna come though, right? Like you saw, Trayvon Diggs almost had 3. He dropped 2 of them, then he finally caught the other one. Daniel Jones, I don't know if there's any Giants fans in here, but something I'm noticing him do, and we all make fun of Jameis Winston getting hit with the broom and going like this. Daniel Jones, did you notice he kept doing one of these things and moving the ball when he knew he was getting sacked or when he knew he was getting around traffic? And that's actually an improvement on Daniel Jones. The reason why he's not fumbling a whole lot without getting hit by the blind side is because he's protecting the rock. So you not all quarterbacks are going to do that, Carson Wentz. Not all quarterbacks are going to hold the ball and run like Daniel Jones did. Guys like Matt Stafford, they're going to be arrogant and try to fit the ball in the spot where it doesn't need to be. And you'll get interceptions, you get tips. We're making other quarterbacks throw the ball at a fast pace. Trust and believe me. Daniel Jones would have threw it at a fast pace too, but Daniel Jones was running around for his goddamn life. So that's why his, time to throw was a little bit longer. So it'll come, and they usually come in bunches. But if you aren't going to get the interceptions, what's the next best thing to get? Sacks.
For sure. Or fumble recovers and then sacks.
When I say I'm sorry, if you're not going to get the turnovers, that's what I should use. The next best thing is sacks.
It's sacks. Fair enough. A little bit more about D-Law.
Well, not just for him, but for everybody, and so
this was in particular Micah Parsons opening things up for D-Law, and Dan opened up to say, well, shit, Micah doing that for everybody.
When you have that, okay, let's say this person's, wanting to get chipped. There's some moments that happen for someone else that they don't. So there'll be games like that where he'll get extra attention and some others may not. And there'll be other times where, people are pretty static to say, hey, this is how we want to play. And so that's our job as coaches within the game to try to, look at that and figure it out and see what it goes. Because sometimes just the balance of the game changes, and so how do they want to go play?
Balance of the game changes. Yeah, man. Micah Parsons is going to be the guy regardless. So it almost turns into a pick your poison type of deal, right? And I always say something, when we're going against these different offensive lines, because there's always going to be naysayers on the internet. Will still, well, this ain't gonna happen versus this team. Find me a team that got 5 good offensive linemen. You know, I think the closest you're gonna get is like Cleveland. I think Tampa Bay got a solid group of guys, but of course they got like a weakness at left guard that we exploit the shit out of. You know what I mean? But find me the offensive line that got 5 dudes that you just feel really, really good about. You know what I mean? And you'll probably show me 2 offensive lines, no matter who we run into. Will still, and if you look at the schedule coming up, especially the guys we got coming up, and even the playoff teams, right? The playoff teams ain't really got 5 guys across the board. If we don't play, you know, we're not going to see the Browns or nothing like that. We have mismatches across the board where we can exploit anybody. Will still, and the good thing about Micah also is that he can get pressure from anywhere. And D-Law was a guy. Look, D-Law got a sack from right tackle. Well, he got all 3 sacks from right tackle. But if y'all watch my D-Law could have got 7 sacks film session, he was working the guards also. You know what I mean? So no matter what team you run into, even if it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got 2 good tackles, Donovan and Tristan. We gonna hit your guards up. We gonna hit Godeke and whoever playing center. You know what I mean? So that just opens up opportunities for guys to where, okay, well, we're gonna put all the pressure on Micah and a little bit of extra pressure on D-Law. Dorn's about to go crazy. Dante's about to make a play. Basher's about to come back. Billy D is going to do his thing. Now, what I do want to see, though, Will, I know that the defensive – let me ask you this question. Will, do you think that the defensive tackles are simply doing their job, or do you want them to show up on the number sheet a little bit more? Because sometimes their job is to be invisible so everybody else can get off, right? But, you know, there are guys like if you look at the Titans, you know, guys like Jeffrey Simmons, and I skipped straight over Aaron Donald, my bad, but guys like Aaron Donald, right? These interior dudes that take games over. Do you want more of that? Because we thought that Osa was going to be a dude that was like duding at this point. Now Osa's doing his job in the run game. You know, I'm going to show it later. He's still punching the shit out of little ass children, getting rid of him, and he's making his routine dirty work plays. I want my interior guys to start making superstar plays. Am I wrong for that, Wilson?
No, what think we all want that, right? But what I'm noticing, at least in these first 3 games, you talked about roles. I think these DTs do have a role that doesn't jive with the selfish, you know, ness in us, right? We want Osa and Neville and these boys to snap. We want 6, 7, 8 sacks in the season. But I'm noticing, hey, they're used on these stunts. They're trying to get Dorrance home. They're trying to get Fowler home. They're trying to get Basham home. You don't really need to do that for Micah, but he's a part of it. Anthony Barr's a part of it. That's part of their role is the stunt man or being the demolition guy to get guys open. I saw it with Tristan Hill. Tristan didn't even look up. Tristan just put his head down, dipped his shoulder, and tried to crash into 2 people. Dorrance Armstrong whips around, then does a 360, comes back and gets the sack. His intentions wasn't to get the sack, but Tristan almost got the damn sack, and he made Daniel Jones step up. So if they're going to do your job and it results in other people eating, I'm fine with that. As opposed to the selfishness in me that wants to see all of them get 5, 6, 7 sacks. So I think they're doing their job right now, man. And that's the philosophy and the game plan from Dan Quinn. I don't know if that ever changes. And it's interesting because he switched up. He let Grady Jarrett eat in Atlanta.
Sure.
Like Grady Jarrett, you that beast, you go eat. But when he came to Dallas, he said, I wanted to mesh multiple things. And I think he's realizing my bread is buttered with who? Micah Parsons, Dorrance Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, Terrell Basham, Dante Fowler. Can we argue that that's where your strength is? That's where the strength is from a pass rush standpoint.
Do you think it's ever going to be a point to where the ends get so much attention that it just becomes too easy for the interior guys? Like we're just putting so much attention on Micah, and I want D-Law to stay healthy, man. Just play double-digit games. Please play 18, 20 games. That Micah, D-Law, and Dorrance just go so crazy that at some point Osa is just going to take advantage of his one-on-one.
This week.
Is this week to do it?
We talked about it before the show. I promise you, 71 and 68, the right tackle and the center, are problematic. And you're going to have to give attention to help to 68. You're going to have to help on the edges because we're going to be coming. And the defensive tackles in those 9 sacks for the Eagles. Now I don't want to go too far ahead. I'm sorry, but just know this is the week I think for the interior to start getting some sacks, man.
Boy, man, just anytime they see Washington on the schedule, boy, that's a good time to just get that work, man. Carson Wentz will hold the football. Plus, the offensive line ain't that good in general, so it's a good time, man. What a time to be alive. my button's still flashing, so maybe I didn't finish this Dan Quinn clip earlier. Let me just see where we at with this.
Tweak.
Okay, well, it's done flashing. All right,
He
cool.
tweaking.
Yeah, I was right. He tweaking. I was right. Let's see. Another follow-up on D-Law. Let's see what he says.
There's a lot. I think sometimes, Todd, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet because I promise you he wasn't forgotten in here. And I know he's not forgotten in the other buildings that people are playing. But there's also a standard that a 30-year-old DN with real high standards about competing and toughness and performing add to your room. And DeMarcus does that. He has the edge. He has a really tough-minded spirit about him, and that can be contagious to other guys to keep rising that standard. His practice habits, the way he goes about it, sometimes just an encouraging voice, sometimes a stern voice to say, hey, this is not what we said we were going to do or how we're going to go get it on. So to me, there's the things that show up on the stat sheet, and then the things that are harder to show up on the stat sheet but are super important to us as coaches is that leading and showing a young player, this is how we do it here. And he's got great command of how to play the position. He's got great command of what it takes. And it's a great way for him to pay it forward for the ones that showed him the way.
I think this whole conversation about D-Law kind of came from, or at least what they're asking from with Dan Quinn or whatnot, is the idea that some of these fans are still ungrateful for what D-Law brings to the table. And that's maddening. That is maddening to me because, first of all, he's still one of the best run defenders in the game off rip. And then he took a pay cut for you.
Mm-hmm.
He took a whole pay cut that he had to take for you. You know what I mean? He got his guaranteed money. But he wants to be here. He wanted to help out. Boom, boom, boom. Shouts out to that guy. And it's still goofy little Cowboy fans around here talking about, so what is D-Law doing for us, man? I think once people get caught up in hate, they just stay there, like regardless of.
I love that.
Come on, Will, man. Let me find a word. Play a button, Will. Said, do something right now. Come on, man. I just like man. Like you should never put yourself in such a hole where you can't grow from it. You know what I mean? Where you can't grow your way out of it, dog. You feel what I'm saying, dog? Like there's nothing wrong with change. I feel like I saw in this one comment. I know, Will. I saw this one comment that was like, Voch, you and Will praising Kellen Moore. Y'all just want him fired 2 weeks ago when he was trash 2 weeks ago and he fixed it. Grow, motherfucker, like evolve.
That to me, I love it, man. When you get new data presented to you, this is what we do, giving our opinion off the data we have and projecting from that. When you get new data, if you don't have the mental capacity or the wherewithal within you to open up and say, all right, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, maybe I should look at it this way. Maybe my mind changes completely. Right, with this new data presented, that's a flaw on you. But I love how you said, man, some people get so caught up in hate that they stay in it.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Which is why John Middlecoff and Richard Sherman still on Cooper Rush. All right. Tone it to the volume, man. That's all we had on D-Law, man. Good stuff from Dan Quinn. Couple of notes on Micah Parsons Dan Quinn had to say. Let's see. Oh, this was a banger. Let's just run this quote from Dan Quinn on Micah Parsons. Then we'll get to the other informational part on Micah Parsons.
So this week might be different than how we did it week 1 or week 2. And so having different guys to do that with is fun. And so I know Micah gets a lot of where is he going to play and what's he going to do. And I would recommend to anybody, why don't we enjoy where he plays, or enjoy how he plays, not where he plays. And because it's not going to be the same this week. It's going to be the same next week and the week after that. So we can do the dance every week, but I'd say more fun to watch how we attack and how we deploy guys as opposed to predicting where they're going to be.
It's not the how. Yeah. I mean, pardon me. Enjoy the how. Enjoy the how. You know, we don't have to concern ourselves with where Mike is going to play. He's going to be great everywhere. You know what I mean? The question wasn't along the lines of, Dan, when you go into a game, how do you scheme or game plan where you're going to deploy guys? I like when they use military words with Dan because Dan always give military terminology back. But deploy guys, how do you think about it, right? And Dan was so gangster. He was cool with it. He was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about how we deploy guys. It's gonna work as long as it's work. Cool, you know what I mean? Like D-Law." And at some point, I do think we were in this world where Cowboy fans hated position flex. Right. And I think we only hated position flex because at the time position flex wasn't working for us. You know what I mean? We was just, when I say we, I mean, y'all, we was just trying to find a way to get rid of Tyrone Crawford for whatever reason. He's granddaddy position flex for this team. But when you see D-Law play B gap and A gap, and you see Dorrance get a sack from standing up, you see Micah play everywhere. You see Billy D on both sides, both sides of the offense. You see Dante just moving around from linebacker spot. You see Donovan, you see the damn safety group playing all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, I think as long as you're good at all of your spots, position flex is a good thing for us. You know what I mean? As long as you're good from all of your spots. And all that's going to do is just make us better, because Dan Quinn is going to brainstorm over it. He's an evil genius. He's a scientist, and he's going to find a way to get guys in the best position to be successful. You have a fantastic quote, Will, Steele. I don't always give you all your credit with with the great things that you say, but we was talking about Micah one day, man. It was like, man, look, when we decide that Micah's gonna be when Micah decides to break the sack record, that's when he'll break it. You know what I mean? I really feel like you can apply that to this whole defense or the whole D line, because when we decide that something is gonna happen, shit's gonna fucking happen. You know what I mean? Hey, I want Dorrance to get a sack right here. You'll get it. I want D-Law to take this game over. It happens. I want Micah to do this. Done. Done. Let's get Anthony Barmore involved. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I think we have enough talented / versatile, because you have to be versatile and talented at both spots. Enough talented and versatile players to be able to make shit shake whenever you want to. On that note about safeties, he was asked about J-Ron Curse, which is funny because I had a tweet yesterday and J-Ron Curse hopped on it and he retweeted it, and he was defending Dak basically. But after that, because I'm trash, but he's got into this argument with some dude in there. He started fussing with some dude down in the comments of the post, and I normally mute big posts like that because I ain't just got time for my notification to be ringing all day. I just couldn't help but to watch J-Ron smoke this dude in my comments, man. But it is what it is. You talk about J-Ron and the 3 safety looks. Here's Dan Quinn.
That way that the 3 of them really, have unique roles that they play for us. So we're hopeful, when JK does come back, that we put him into the spots and all the unique things that he does. So we'll get a better sense as the week goes on, from practicing to see what his readiness is for the game. I can promise you he's chomping at the bit to get going. So we're hopeful, as I get, the next few days, I'll have a better sense. Tomorrow won't be as fast. So for him, really, we need to go at full speed to go. But no problem fitting him back into it. I can promise you that. We need more. So and Basham as well. Hopefully,
Before he gets into Basham, the dude that J-Ron was smoking on Twitter, by the way, just smoking him. He was clearly Twitter trolling, and J-Ron fixed his ass, but he was clearly Twitter trolling, and he was trying to get under J-Ron's skin, and he was saying, "Boy, look at how good Donovan Wilson playing. You're gonna be a backup, boy. Donovan Wilson, da 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 da." I will say this, Will, Steele. First of all, Donovan Wilson and J-Ron Curse play together all the time. Donovan Wilson had 9 tackles, I believe, Will. Donovan could have had like 15 tackles, but he missed 4 of them. J-Ron don't miss tackles. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of big plays where, Donovan will be running full head of steam. And I think it's because Donovan be trying to smoke people like Billy D is trying to smoke people. But, Donovan being a missile, Donovan being cover guy, Donovan running around, whatever. As good as Donovan has been, man, you need J-Ron Curse, bro. You need J-Ron Curse, man. That dude just brings a whole nother element to this defense, man. And you know that because it took 3 people to replace him. It takes 3 people to replace that motherfucker. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna be back this week. Possibly, or maybe next week.
I was trying to get to this part before you said something, but he will be doing work, and he's going to get a full complement of work on Thursday. So, and according to Pat Walker, sounds like that Donovan Wilson, J-Ron Curse has a chance at returning versus Washington. Plus, he put out that cryptic tweet with the devil emoji. So, if all goes well over the next 2 days, he'll be back.
Yeah. Did you have to tap in with your media friends to get that information?
It's on Twitter.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, Pat Walker just tweeted it. That's what I was going to get to after he was done. So we might get J-Rock back.
My bad, man. Pat Walker's one of my media friends also. That's a good time to bring it back to this team in particular, Carson Wentz and them. That's a good team to get your feet warm before we get into the Rams and Eagles week. And boy, the Eagles week is going to be a scary place on social media, and I'm just going to be right in the middle of it. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Eagles better not lose that game though. Let's see. But yeah, man, what J-Ron brings to the table, man. And let's finish this clip. J-Ron, and he started talking about bashing, but he's gonna get back into J-Ron, I believe. So let's listen.
So that's coming back, on the way back as well. So between those two guys,
Unbiased Cowboy in the chat box says Wilson is better than Curse to me. Relax, or just in the chat box right now, just tell us in what way so we can disagree with you.
Guys, they add a lot of stuff to us, and we'll feature them
and I like Wilson.
All their very best ways. I am excited to get JK back. He's got not only does he have a great football mind, he's got a very calming presence. He's an excellent communicator. He's very decisive. And as a player, that's an important quality to have. Not where you're waiting for the call or you're waiting to see what could happen. He's very clear on what to do and how to do it. And much like we were talking about D-Law, JK has a good edge about him too. And all of that, like I said, for us to be as good as we can be, we want to attack from every way and be, as good as we can be in all the situations, the way we can get after the QB, the way we can get to the ball, playing good on third down, and guys like Law and JK and others make up that identity of toughness and finish going for it. And so the fact that we've been in this last 2 weeks, some close games at the end, I love that because you can't talk about it. You've got to do it and you've got to live it. You got to be about it. And so if you really want to fight, you got to go in those fights.
Yeah, Dan was rambling at this point, but yeah, man, he was basically talking about getting J-Ron Curse back. But when J-Ron gets back, man, this defense is going to only get better. That's the point that I was trying to get to. It's going to be so much better, and the defense in particular is going to be so much more complete. And I think we play faster when he's green dot guy. We've been playing fast, but I think we play much faster when he's green dot guy. I can't wait to get that dude back. One more, then we're gonna move on because it's 3:46. We got a couple callers in here. Let's go ahead.
The conference has been locked.
We'll lock this thing up. He asked how healthy was Micah Parsons. He said, Micah, he was fine. Then he asked another question about Micah Parsons. Yeah, cool. We know all about Micah. But I wanted to about Trayvon Diggs and his energy. I think that's important. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna talk about Trey Diggs after this. Will Steele.
I think you felt his intent, going in. Usually you can feel someone's energy when you're standing next to somebody. And I sensed that, in the game leading up to that last night. And I thought he really had a good chance at one to go back and, get in front of the ball to go make a play. I think you guys probably saw that one too. So it was nice to see at the end of the game, one come his way. But I thought just from an intent standpoint, when you're really ready and you're really feeling it, it's like, you can't wait for the game to start. Like, I hope they try me. And so when you get to that space as a ball player, not only do you know your keys, but like, I only know my keys and I want them to throw it my way. That's when you're in your best space. And if you can get a player to stay in that pocket of readiness, I think that's when you'll see the best results. And so
I already know this answer, Will, still, but I'm going to ask you anyway, because content. You think social media may have riled up Trey and got him a little more focused?
100%. Yeah. We saw his energy at camp. It was not this great energy after he went through what he went through on the socials. And I know a lot of people will laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? We live in a different era. We live in a different generation, and it's he hell, right, about my age, but Trayvon is young. Trayvon is one of these Gen Z type dudes. And this social media thing is poison in general, but it can be poison to their system and their mental. And he got rid of that, and you saw the mental kind of change within him. And I think you see it on the field now too. Just curious. Anybody know who leads the league in cornerback yards given up? I don't know. Because I haven't seen that statistic, being dropped. Now I know we can go Google it. But it was only a thing last year when Trayvon was getting 6 interceptions in a row. So it's just so funny how social media is, man.
When they have a narrative, they run with it, don't it? They run with that little narrative when they want to. And I think I think CeeDee Lamb could use some of that. You know what I mean? Because his mentals are very important when it comes to his game as well. You know what I mean? When CeeDee Lamb gets in a funk, we see it. He start pouting, start throwing his hands up, start throwing his hands back and shit like that. You know what I mean? And you know, you can see when he's down on himself, that turns into a domino thing, like this mountainous pressure that gets on his back. But that motherfucker make a catch, he make a clutch 4th down catch, he make a deep ball catch. Then a one-handed catch in the end zone, that'll do something for your confidence, man. So I think moving forward, if I had to give any advice to go ahead.
No, finish. I just want to let you know I got something on that.
If I gotta give advice to Kellen Moore, hey man, get that boy going early so he can get his confidence going. Go ahead.
Trayvon Diggs, while he may not have 3 games and 3 interceptions like last year, he made the game-winning tackle essentially in week 2, and then the game-winning interception in week 3. So he's still making plays. It's just not pick sixes yet, by the way, and 3 interceptions in 3 games yet, by the way. But he's not getting torched like y'all keep saying he was last year amongst yards. In certain statistics or certain websites, he's either outside the top 30 or outside the top 20, 25 or whatever. So
Trey Diggs has come a long way from that alleged thing that we heard over the all season that we can't talk about. You know what I mean? He's come a long way from that.
But I believe that.
I do believe it. I don't doubt it at all because you know what, it looked that way in camp, and I know that is halfway lost, but whatever. But we saw a little bit of that in camp. But you saw when he got off social media, he locked in a little bit. Yeah, he good to go. My guy's good. All right, let's get into the phones. All right, it's 3:50. You know the rules. I love y'all to pieces, but still. We're going to make this relatively quick. Come on in. So we're going to say what's up. Make your point. If you have a second point, because it's 3:50 and we started kind of late. You know what I mean? It's we 42 minutes into the show. I don't know. But if you have a quick point, just make that second point pretty quick. And we'll let y'all do that. So hey, 1 point and second quick one. I think that's a good way to go. Let's start off with Los. See what he's talking about. What up, Los?
Good afternoon, Voch. Good afternoon, Sky. I know. Hey,
my bad.
Hey, no Spanish today, man. I can't be loud today. I'm at work. But one last thing. I just got 2 quick points, like you say. This secondary room, as a whole, you have to give them credit for the most part. And I'm just going by eyeball test. I don't have the stats, but I feel this unit as a whole has been, basically not giving up those big plays, and giving a chance to offense for us to score and not be out of there.
Take your phone out your pocket, man. I know your boss walked in. I can't hear
you. My bad. And my second thing is Noah Brown.
Yeah,
man, he has stepped up tremendously.
Sure.
And what's scary is we are going to get Michael Gallup back. So I would like to see even more his opportunities grow with him being the wide receiver 3. And I didn't expect this from Noah Brown. He hopefully keeps overachieving. But there was an interesting stat. So far, he has more receiving or rec yards than Devontae Adams. And that's saying something. And that's all I got to say, Voch. Peace out. Keep on doing what you do, Voch. You too, Sky. And y'all keep being the legends you are. Peace.
Hey, Los, you said that shit. Me and Will started typing. I love it. I'm definitely gonna look into some shit. I wanted to get into this stat in particular. Will, Steele, let me ask you your opinions on this. Right, Amari Cooper so far on 27 targets, 19 catches, and 2 touchdowns. Noah Brown on 21 targets, 15 catches, and 213 yards, 1 touchdown. What you think about that?
What he has 213. I didn't know. I thought he had less than that. But what about it? What do you think about it? I don't know where your point is going here.
You know how social media get, Will Steele. They were like, "Oh, well, Noah Brown doing what Cooper doing in with the Browns."
No, that's lazy.
Noah Brown better than Cooper. He just as good as Cooper. What I will say though, and I don't think like social media is thinking right now. I have seen those numbers thrown around social media. What I will say though, Will Steele, I do think. Let me ask you this: do you think that Noah Brown is when given opportunity, Do you think Noah Brown is a capable enough receiver to hang around when Gallup and James Washington come back?
Hang around. He gonna be a part of the top 3, right?
I get it. I just want to know your thoughts on this. Like because I do think at some point CD is gonna get going. I think when Jarwin heals up fully, or whatever the hell we do at tight end or whatever, he's gonna get going. I think Jalen Tolbert's gonna catch on it.
Oh, you mean featured? That's the word I use.
Featuring,
no,
sure.
He's not a featured player. No.
Yeah.
You're going to feature Lamb. You're going to feature Gallup. You're going to, I don't know if you need to feature Schultz, but you should be featuring Tony Pollard. Noah Brown goes down to what, your fifth option, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth or sixth option from a feature standpoint.
Yeah. I've seen just around different social medias or whatnot, the idea that Noah Brown has earned enough of has earned his opportunities, like, well, not earned his opportunity, but earned the idea that he needs to still be this even when the other guys come back, and I think we're on the same page here. Like, yes, he's done great with his opportunities, but in my mind, I wonder what happens if those opportunities went to a more talented guy. You know what I mean? In my mind, that's immediately what I went to. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, of course. So yeah, Noah Brown has done well for what we've asked of him to do. But I think when Gallup comes back, I think when Dak comes back, and when Schultz probably gets a little healthy, I don't think we're going to feature him in that same way. Go ahead.
I think it's it's the case of the bar. Where's the bar? And if you're over the bar, the expectation right now at that position, and maybe with this team in general, they're going to prop you up. Right, we're seeing that, and that's not taken away from what Noah's doing. I think Noah is a glue guy, right? Like Noah is one of those dudes. He does the dirty work for you, can make the dirty catches. I don't need Noah Brown to have 85 yards, 100-yard game, 2-3 touchdowns, and be like, hey, Noah Brown did his job today, right? Like he's averaging 5 receptions a week. That's what we talking about here.
I will say this: there's something funny about if you take away the allure, the stank, the ass. Like if you take away that from us winning, or the idea of us winning, you just look at exactly what these guys are. It brings you right back down to earth a little bit, right? Because we could be excited. Oh, Cooper Rush is da 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 da. Then somebody like, man, that dude got 2 touchdowns in 2 games. We go, yeah, that's fair. He ain't, yeah. Because you would think that he's setting the world on fire based on how people are talking about him,
well,
right?
Because of week 1.
Yes, because of week
1. So it's the same thing where we were talking about the room of wide receiver with the quarterback position. We're talking about what happened with the only other game we have with Dak Prescott in week 1 was terrible. You know what I mean? You can only go up. So even if the up ain't some crazy up, it's up. So we're going to prop it up. And that's what's happening right now. But that's football right now. That's social media. That's how fans, it is what it is.
The ass.
The stinking ass. That's crazy.
The stinking. I don't know why they came up to my. I could have just said like thought. the feel. I could have said all kind of things, but I don't know. I ain't shit. Let's go back to the phones, man. We got Kev from Michigan on the phone. Let's see what he's talking about. What up, Kev?
Yo, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's good with you, my guy? Everything's everything. What you got for the show today?
I hear this. Just real quick point. I know a lot of the naysayers have been talking about we just beat the Giants and the Bengals, but that main team in Philadelphia that wear green,
man,
they only beat the Lions, the Commanders, Vikings. Ain't a little bit too early to be crowding them.
Even though I like the Lions, what I will say, something that's interesting here. I think, and this ain't me like shooting at Eagles fans or whatever, because it's way too early. We got a long week 6, and I really ain't trying to be talking about y'all like that. But I will say this though: the Eagles and the outside world. It's interesting that the things that they're propping the Eagles up about are the things that they downed the Cowboys about for so long. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're getting this attention for doing what? You're getting propped up for doing what? You beat bad teams. Who cares? You da 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 da. You're racking up yardage on bad teams. Why? You know what I mean? I do think that's the thing. I do think that's that's fair. But I don't want to sound like a hater, man. I just want to wait till week 7 before I properly get on the internet and tear shit up.
We shouldn't be judging anybody after 3 weeks.
Indubitably.
Fair. Real quick, real quick point.
Mm-hmm.
That interior lineman, I hope they do get off this week because those boys on the outside been tearing shit up, and now I hope they get to eat now. Odigazua, Bohanna, Neville, all of them. Hope they get to eat. Yeah. Hopefully y'all see it too. Sky, I like that point that you put in with the interior lineman or the commander, and it look a little shaky. Hopefully this week they get it done.
Yeah, indubitably. Kev from Michigan, appreciate you, Doc.
Thanks, Kev.
Always.
Will, have you seen anything from the Washington Football Wizards D line? Like have you watched them?
Only studied the offense today.
Okay. I want to know what their interior D line looks like to where they had to go get Ridgeway. You know what I mean? I just kind of want to know where they're at. You know, and to be fair, man, Ridgeway is this ain't me talking shit, but just facts. Like he's a dude that couldn't hang around our team. He couldn't, make our team. You know what I mean? So I wonder what rotation they have for him, and if they're because when you think about the Washington team or whatever, like their claim to fame used to be D-line. You know what I'm saying? They got the same dudes. I mean, Chase ain't there, and Chase ain't, Chase wasn't doing Chase things before. Chase wasn't doing Micah things and nothing like that before Chase left. But it's almost like they got the same kind of dudes. They got the same coach staff and everything. But the ass ain't there about their D-line anymore. So I just want to know if what's changed over there. But I'll be watching soon. But what you think that is, Will?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they needed Ridgeway. Maybe they just, I said this before. There was a guy, I forget his name. It was one of them big country dudes that they used to have in there, and he kind of reminds me of Big Country John Ridgeway. They lost him. Ionitis? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Remember Matt Ionitis? I feel like this could be their Matt Ionitis. That fourth guy or something they bring off the bench, but they got two dogs in the middle, so it ain't like, unless one of them got hurt, I'm not sure, but it ain't like they need him to start.
Mm-hmm. This would be a fun game for Jason Peters to really see where he's at. You know what I mean? It's just see him deal with, Payne and Allen, and if we go in there and push dudes around, like, we going to Golden Corral. You hear me? Let's go Cowboy James, see what he's talking about. What's up, Cowboy James?
What's up, guys?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, man. I just thought you was in a high speed chase or something. It's all good. What you got for the show?
Nah, I have my windows down and it's a little bit windy over here in Nevada, so I had to roll up my window here. But
gotcha.
I got two quick questions for you.
Yes,
if you both can, I'll start with Will first. Now, Will, a couple days ago when I came on your show, when you said something about to be careful, the levee or whatever is about to break. When we played last week, is that kind of what you meant by, just everybody feasting because of Micah?
Not necessarily. I'll be honest with you. The levy I was hoping for was the turnover situation, because Daniel Jones holds the ball and he fumbles. But one thing I didn't notice from Daniel Jones in my study was his ability to do that kind of Euro step thing with the rock and move it around, and that's why he wasn't fumbling the ball. And the interceptions almost came though, but. Yeah, but we also did almost have the levies break in regards to the
offensive lineman to offensive lineman. Now, a lot of us were concerned. I know I was about Tyler Smith moving out to left tackle, but I'll tell you what, man. For me, that shit is gone, and I would like to see it. And do you think it eventually will be Tyler Smith, Jason Peters, and Tyler Biotis? Do you think it's eventually going to be like that, just all the way through the game?
Tyler at tackle?
Tyler Smith at tackle and Peters at guard. I think he can play guard.
I mean, that's what it's going to be, but I don't agree with it necessarily. Look, Brian Broaddus had a banger of a quote today. He said, "Man, look, my best five ain't they best five." You know what I mean? And especially like how they're how they're arranged or whatever. My best five ain't they best five, but that's just what they're going to do. I just think I just believe in maximizing output, and Tyler's been doing fine at tackle, but I think he'll be incredible at guard. And Jason is Jason's probably going to be fine at guard. You know what I mean? But I just want to be more than fine and okay at those spots. I want to be the best I could possibly be. But Tyler's doing okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty okay with it if that's what they want to roll out with anyway. So to make time for everybody else, man. I love you guys. You guys are great, and you guys know you guys are the best around.
Hey man, appreciate you, dog. That means the world to us.
You're welcome. Take care, guys.
Yes, sir. Hey, yo, Will, you want to finish what you were saying? You want to finish that question?
I don't even remember what I talk about no more.
I think he had a little more to say, Will. I think,
At one point, we was both kind of just talking, and it started sounding like. I was like, oh, all right, yeah.
I ain't gonna move on to the next one. Get your out of here, man. Let's see what Damon talking about. What up, Damon?
Oh, King Element, I'm getting that drop. I had it on my last one, but I'm getting it.
Hold up, I didn't muted Damon. Hold on, because something that Will still said. Let's see. Call it, hit the skip button. It's my turn. Okay, well, we'll see what that is. Will is gonna surprise with another one. My bad. Now, what's up, Damon? What you got for the show?
What's poppin', boys? I'm just out here in the middle of this hurricane.
You in Florida?
Yeah, man. I'm in Orlando.
You safe out there? Oh, Will Steele.
Man, get out of that hurricane, bro. Get out of that hurricane.
Have some class.
We good out here, bro. We good. Ain't nothing but a little wind and rain so far in Orlando, man. But hey, quick point, Voch. As an offensive coordinator guy,
okay,
what is the way that you would look to attack this particular Dallas Cowboys defense going forward for the rest of the season? You know, having 3 games of film to look at. If you were offensive coordinator, what ways would you look to attack this defense? And my second point is these right now are good problems to have as far as these injuries that we've had, because these backup guys have stepped up. I don't want these guys like deers in the headlight when it comes to playoffs if we need somebody to step up in these big situations. That's all I got, man. I'm going to get out the way.
I mean, it's hard, but I mean, if I had to attack the Cowboys defense, I mean, it's probably going to be like run the ball and hope. Double moves on digs, play action, try to be physical, try to be tough. That's the best I can come up with. That's the best I can come up with. I ain't gonna ask Will, because I mean that's a baffling question. Now, this defense ain't perfect, but I do think you need a certain style of team to beat us. You know what I mean? Like you have to be like bullying with your pass and your run game. I would love to see how we like stack up versus like Buffalo or something. You know what I mean? I would love to see how we would look at that kind of team, you know. Not even necessarily like the Dolphins, because I think we could pick on the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like I think we can physical the Dolphins, but I think Buffalo is a different kind of fight for us. I would love to see what that's like. But 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. We got Carson, and after that we got fucking Jalen them. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Yeah. No. We got Stafford. We got Stafford. So we got Carson and Stafford. So we'll cross that road whenever we get there. Let's get into these callers that ain't platinum. See if we can make them platinum. 203. What up? Who this?
Yes, it's Jay. What's up, Voch?
What's up,
Will?
How
y'all doing, fam?
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, what I had for you all, man, I just want to give credit to our defense, first of all, man. Dan Quinn doing an excellent job with our D, man. We didn't have a defense like this in a long time, man. Like, and the balance, you know, we have going on right now. And I just like what I'm seeing in this defense. You just got that I don't know how that it factor. You know, I've seen the Super Bowls, you know, that we won 3. I've seen 3 Super Bowls we won in that it factor. I haven't seen in a while. You'd be like, you see defense, you're like, yeah, all right. Then we had a bad defense back in 2020, and then it's just this it factor. You just see it, you know, you just could feel it. You know, it's electric. You know, it's just something different that's brewing up in Dallas right now. You know, even though people still not giving us credit, but But the second thing I had to say is that there is no quarterback controversy. I'm tired of these fans with this quarterback. I had to say this, man. This is crazy, man, because we have to look at it like this. What happened 20-something odd years before Dak Prescott got there? People not looking at it. Nobody's not saying that about that.
Sure.
Before Dak came along, 20-something years, we haven't done anything, you know. So now Dak, he's the fall guy, while the villain, which is stubborn Jerry Jones, sneak out the back door, and all you see is Dak because he's the star and everything like that. But you got to understand also during the Garrett era, Dak, you know, he played in the Garrett era, so we got to understand that too, you know. So now it's like putting, use this analogy, it's like putting bad gas in your car. You know, now you had to drain all that bad gas out and then put that premium in it, you know? Yeah. So now we're just getting that premium gas in there. So, you know, give Dak a chance. People lay off Dak. Dak is still our quarterback. I don't care what people say. He's a good quarterback. Rush, what he's doing, you know, he's doing what he's supposed to do as a good serviceable backup. You know, he's not Dak Prescott. We need to get off of that. He's not Dak. When Dak gets back, I believe Dak is going to be okay. So people just need to lay off Dak, man, give Dak, Dak another chance. He's all right. We're going to be all right, man. So I just had to get that out of the way because the fans keep talking about this controversy. Of course, there is no controversy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, and now I can see, I'm just going to say this and I'm going to go. I can see if we were a championship, and then Dak came in the 7 years, and then, Dak got in, he screwed up all, we was a champ. Then that analogy will work if we were already winning championship before Dak got there and he came in and we fell off the train. And maybe I could say, okay, then, well, yeah, he's screwing us up. But that didn't happen. We were winning that before Dak. So
he's eating these.
Somebody put somebody to blame. I understand the fans are uneasy and we desperate. This is what this look like. We just desperate for something. Y'all calm down with that. We're going to be all right. That's all I had to say. All
right, that's all you had to say. I appreciate you, Jay. That was a good call, man. Tap in with us again. Salute.
Boy, he was eating those drops. Oh, he's still here? He was eating. Who you think you are, Voch?
Who do you think you are? I am.
Come on, Will.
My show now.
Will. Come on, Will.
My favorite part when he goes, "Who do you think you are? I am." Like, bro, what?
No, he cared nothing about what we had
nothing.
To say. Will Steele, can you talk to the people for 40 seconds? I've been drinking a lot of water today. Can you talk to the people for 40 seconds about Dak Prescott Cooper competition that don't exist?
Sure. Let me tell you this. There's no competition right now. The only way it'll be a competition is if Dak Prescott comes back into this offense and it looks exactly like it looked in week 1. If it doesn't look like that, and it looks exactly like it looks the last 2 weeks, I know for a fact the fan base would go crazy. There's no way y'all will let Dak Prescott off the hook for going 3 for 10 on third downs, 5 for 13 on third downs, 1 touchdown. Y'all go crazy. But as long as they winning, it shouldn't matter. But we understand that's not the case. We witnessed that last year. It is about how you win amongst this fan base. But the only way there will be a controversy is if he comes back and it looks god-awful for 3 games or 4 games or whatever it is. Now we have a quarterback controversy. And I'll repeat that one more time for you, Voch. The only way. Okay, you heard me? Yeah, all right. What do you think about that? The only way this is a controversy is if Dak Prescott comes back and the offense stinks.
I think we have to determine what stinks is, right? And I think it's going to take a little bit to do that because, yeah, Cooper Rush is doing this. If he goes out there versus the Rams, playing versus the Rams and playing versus the Giants are 2 different defenses. You know what I mean? So if he's relatively successful versus the Rams,
crazy.
We got my hand's still wet. We still gotta I forgot what I'm saying. Fuck around the chat.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. And what else going on in there?
It's apparently today it's been a bit they're arguing amongst themselves in there today, man. So it's kind of crazy. I'm leaving it up to the mods to handle all this craziness in here, but wow.
Yeah, I got mods. We've knighted people. But yeah, man. And I think if Cooper Rush plays versus the Rams and the Eagles, like you gotta take that into account or whatever, right? But I think Dak will be fine. But Dak gotta come back and stink it up. Like if Dak has another week 1 game,
that's what I'm saying.
Then that'll be that's. And I don't know how even that even happens, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and wrap this show.
But some people believe that, like the boy in the chat, these nuts. Dak will start again, but crap the bed. See, those are people who are stuck within their hatred or within their agenda. Like, how do you know that? What are the lottery numbers? You mean to tell me if we come out here and we run the similar game plan where we're being balanced and Coach McCarthy is making, Kellen Moore call up some creative plays within the scheme, running wise and things like that, you think he can't operate in that? Are you kidding me? But Cooper Rush?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Tom Brady.
Exactly. And my biggest point on social media the other day, bro, like, man, look, if Cooper Rush beat the Giants, Dak Prescott blows him out. You know what I mean? So I just think that's just one thing. Philly will be the best offense Dallas has faced. Y'all betting Cincinnati? I
actually agree. I agree. Yep.
You think the Eagles offense better than Cincinnati?
I do. Because I've taken into account everything. I feel like they have good weapons. Listen, I understand Chase is Chase, but I do like, AJ, and I do like Devontae, and the tight end is better than their tight end. Their offensive line, number one, is better. I think their run scheme is better. So yeah. I don't know if it's by a lot, but I think so. The quarterback ain't better, but the quarterback is good within what they ask him to do.
Interesting. My chat box is awry. I hope this ain't on the volume side, because we just got this goddamn job.
I don't know where it's at, because I'm looking in the restream, and boy, I mean, there's a couple people in here that are going ham, and I'm not sure what happened in the chat.
I'm calling human resources, but King Pitt says put your DNA in it. Good callback. Let's get these last two calls out the way. 484. What's up? Who this?
How you doing?
What's good?
This is Ronnie from Reading, PA.
Ronnie from Reading, PA. We remember you from yesterday. How you doing, Mr. Ronnie?
How you doing? Okay. Just want to say to both of you, God bless your show and your family, and you'll do a good job.
Appreciate you.
I want to say, if Kellen Moore sticks to the game plan that he's giving to Russ, Dak Prescott's going to look better. Because if he keep him under the center and use that play action more, he's going to do better. And our defense, like Steele Will had told you before, our defense is good enough to take us to the Super Bowl. As long as we stay, with the same intensity and everybody do their job. That's all I got for today. God bless you. Come on.
I tell you what, Mr. Ronnie, you ain't said nothing wrong. I just put you down platinum, so next time you call in, we'll know it's you. Thanks for tuning in. Well, still, if Kellen Moore if he uses the same scheme that he uses with Cooper Rush with Dak Prescott, then the offense should be just fine. But let me ask you this though, Will. Still, here we go. Let me ask you this, Will. Still, how much of this do you think? Let's say Cooper Rush, right? The Cooper Rush success. How much of this do you think goes away if the league had another year of film on him?
I have no clue. That's, what I'm saying. I mean, obviously more film helps, but then the follow up is, well, what do we do to counter that? Right? What is our counter punch? So that matters, because he is a limited quarterback from a talent standpoint. But if you are putting him in a box to allow him to do what he does best, or to not put too much on his plate, you can get by with it, especially with a great defense, right? But what are we asking him now? If we're asking him to, hey, Cooper, we want you to drop back 35 plus times a game and just sling the rock, and we're going to lean on you, well, the teams are definitely going to figure that out, because he's limited. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, still, it turns out the mess is on the volume side. But the funny part is Trey Manning, he's on the volume side. He said, ain't nothing going on over here. Man, the mess is on.
They letting it rock too. I'm surprised.
That means I'm gonna have to write a review for y'all. We're gonna have to fix this. God damn. Let's get the last call here, then we're gonna get to the chat, wrap the show up. 512, what's up? Who this?
Yo, this Drunk Pat from South Park, Houston, Texas.
Drunk Pat from South Park, Houston, Texas. What's good, my guy?
Okay, first off, y'all my favorite. Y'all Jeff Kavanaugh and Mike Fisher, so I'm glad y'all working together.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
Out the way.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Skywalker still got the best music intro too. That shit dope. I don't know who mixed that. That Sounds of Blackness is dope.
Appreciate it, brother.
So the point is, I think that when Tyron Smith come off an injury, you ready for this?
Yes,
you
sir.
ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Put him at swing tackle. I love y'all, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing, bro.
So look, you say this drunk Mike from South Park?
This Drunk Pat, man.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. All right, Drunk Pat. I just put you down platinum. Next time we call in, you call in, we'll know it's you, and you're officially Drunk Pat from South Park. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Good call. That's what I think it is, Will. Still, that's what I think it's gonna be. I think if Jason Peters come in here and I think Jason Peters has clearly beat Fournier already, but I think, you already know the Cowboys will make this difficult with the whole Conor McGovern thing. But assuming that Jason Peters plays at a high level for you, I don't think they're moving Tyler Smith at all. So when Tyron comes back, I don't think Tyron starts. Honestly.
Yeah, I think they're full ahead of with Tyler Smith at left tackle. And I mean, how crazy would that be? If I don't think Tyron's going to come back, but if he does come back, how crazy is that? Hey, Tyron Smith, you're a swing tackle.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. To be fair, Tyron had played right tackle before, but shit.
But that's kind of where we want it to be, right? Get to the point where when Tyron Smith comes back, that your left tackle has played so well and your left guard spot has not been a weak link to the point where you can have a tough decision to make.
Hall of Famer, swing tackle. The days we live in, Let's get to these super chats, man, and then I'm going to wrap up the show. So let's just do this. We'll go ahead and do that. Hey, chat box, tap in with us and let us know what you thinking about today. You couldn't tap in with us via phone. Tap in with us via chat box. Let's see what y'all talking about. Super chats. What's today? 28. On the Voch side, Rodolfo Lara dropped 5 and says, "All I know is I want my chips with dip. That's all I know. With dip." W. Appreciate you, sir. Kenneth Anderson dropped a deuce in the super chat. Says, "Great early show, Sky. Great work, Voch. Keep going, 100%. Appreciate you." Anthony G dropped a dime in the super chat. Says, "Yo, Voch, when does the best pass rush draw its first offensive holding?"
Are you serious? We don't got a hold?
Also, appreciate water for my birthday today. Happy birthday, brother. We haven't drawn a holding call yet? Like, we haven't officially got a holding call?
Is that a real thing? If that's, I'm gonna look that up after we're done with this show, because if that's real, there's no goddamn.
That's a crazy stat. I think it has to be real though. It has to be.
Lead the league in sacks, lead the league in pressures, and we haven't generated a single hold. I've watched Micah Parsons get held multiple times in a series, let alone a game, but no holdings. I can't. And the thing is, I don't know if I remember any.
We should look into that. That's definitely worth talking about if that's the thing. And then Pedrowski dropped the 5. He dropped a deuce and says, "Coop is flavor of the month. Dak is the sauce." Fantastic.
For
Good
clarity
call,
in the chat, he's not talking about offensive holding. He's talking about teams holding the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah, we've been called for holding, but this is holding us, and that's fair. I haven't seen us being. I haven't seen it. That's fair. That's something to think about. We'll definitely look into that just to be sure. And on the volume side, super chats on volume. Gerard Bogarty, what's up, brother? Member of the CIA. He says the defense is stronger than some of its parts. The defense is stronger than the sum of its parts. 100%, Mr. Wolf. Appreciate you. Alex dropped 2 deuces. He says on one, he says Philly will be the best offense that Dallas has faced. Then he says Dallas will be the best defense that Philly has faced.
Facts.
Can't wait. I think we've played offenses as good as Philly, though. I don't think Philly's seen a defense as good as ours.
No, that's fair. I mean, we've played offenses like that, and when I say like that, I mean good offenses. But I'm talking about facts the other way around. There's no way they played the defense like the Cowboys just yet, right? I mean,
no. I'll save this banter for week 6. That's going to be a scary place on it.
But to be fair, their offense is playing better than any of the offenses that we played. That's a fact.
Yeah, they're playing some good offenses. Yeah, they're for sure.
Tampa Bay, they have like 2 touchdowns all year or 3 touchdowns all year. Cincinnati, they can score against the Steelers or us, and barely eked it out against the Jets. And then we play the Giants. So
now, Master William, would the Bengals and Bucks have more touchdowns if they hadn't played us?
They didn't have touchdowns against the Steelers.
That's a division game, Will. Still, that's
what about the Jets? Tampa Bay played the Packers. They played Saints. Are not bad defenses, but I'm saying that offense with the Philly is playing better than those offenses. Right? I don't even think that's how is that arguable.
I'm just trying to cover all bases with. Don't start arguing with me, man, because you do this shit, man. I be trying to cover all bases, but you be acting like I be really thinking this shit, man. I'm just asking questions, Will.
Nah, I understand the Philly hate. I do. I'm just being objective here.
I told y'all by the time Will still tried to. I was about to say, Will still tried to. I can't say that either because that sounds funny. Will still tried to dog me out in the car on the way back to the airport, man. And I'm just up here asking.
Very interesting because it's a similar conversation.
This why I don't talk to your ass.
It's a very similar conversation.
This why B2K broke up. Shit like this. Shit like this. Nothing lasts long. Kenan and Kel broke up over shit like this.
Fat Boys.
The Fat Boys. They'll wake up. That's it. And that's why you my guy, because we went straight to that. That's why you my guy. All right, chat box. It is y'all's time. The hell y'all want? So we can clock out. I got a film session to do. Well, a Patreon film, which is way longer than the actual film session, which is a lot of work. But hey, we working with y'all. No, we good, Red Rum. We good. I may answer like 4 questions, and I'm gonna get up out of here. 4 questions, and I'm gonna get up out of here. 4 questions. Didn't Evan Neal get called for holding?
Somebody said that Osa, I guess, draw the holding penalty at the end of that game. So,
Reggie J said this your show, Vach. You goddamn right. That's what I'm saying. I think Dallas and the Commanders have a equal D line, but Micah just puts them over the top. I don't know, bro. Micah does put us over the top, but I don't equal.
I ain't studied their defense yet, so I can't really speak. But talent, they got talent when you look at the paper, but I don't know how they playing.
They got names, bro. They got names, bro. I ain't. No long talk from Vach. I would tell y'all to lower the drawbridge, but it's been so much damn mess in the halls. It's been so much nonsense in the halls. I would tell y'all to bring in the messenger, but my damn admins ain't taking care of the house.
They letting the mess rock. I am shocked.
I would love for Marcus Harrison to have a safe place to deliver his message this evening, but y'all got it unsafe in the damn mess hall. It is what it is, though. Hear ye, hear ye. Let Marcus Harrison in so we can hear what he got to say. Let him in.
There you go.
He's right there. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, that's me and Will still. At the volume, I never lose. Either I win or I learn. My brothers continue to shrug off adversity and embrace prosperity, even when it's masked with uncertainty. Prayers up. Marcus Harrison, thank you so much for your fancy contribution to the show. Turn up, sir.
Watch that beat drop.
Turn up, sir. You know, Will Steele, to be fair, Marcus Hardison does hit us with some fantastic work every week. But, you know, in real life, I am a sucker for good quotes, and I love good quotes, and I seek out good quotes, and I have actual favorite quotes.
Oh, I could tell. I don't know if they can, but I could definitely tell just by your show.
Will Steele, I am a sucker for a good quote. I want to say this one, man, because this one, there's this narrative going around that Voch is like arrogant or whatever, but this one quote just feeds into that or whatever. Just whatever, fuck yeah. John Henry Clark, Will Steele, he said, I only debate my peers. Everyone else I educate.
Ooh.
Come on, man. We got it. John Henry Clark. There's not a more egotistical quote than that, Will Steele. It's a banger though.
That is a banger.
It's some ego in that quote, but that's a motherfucking banger. I'll never forget that one. I wanted to put it on the shirt, but I'm sure I get sued for it. All right, I think that is all we got for y'all today. Hopefully we have a better day of security in our chat boxes tomorrow. We should have film up. Let me run over to the Voch Lombardi side. Let me check and make sure we got film for y'all. Let me make sure Paul held us down. Evaluating Cooper right now. No, not yet. All right, cool. I guess the film will be up in a little bit then. So, y'all get the notification. Notification should be on. And or at least your notifications on the Voch side should be on. All right. So make sure everybody tunes into that D-Law and it's ready. It's just waiting on Paul. All right, cool. So, get ready for that. That's going to happen. Also, if you're a member of my Patreon, patreon.com/Voch Lombardi, that's where we're going to be watching. I'm going to hang up on this. I'm going to go drink some water. I may eat some fruits or something. I got some watermelon in there, and in 15 minutes, I'm jumping right on Patreon to do the whole D-line film. So run over there and tap in with me. Then after that, I'm gonna pass out, bro, because I'm tired as hell. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all to pieces. Hold it down. I'm tripping, man. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI, and all my social medias, my non-football platform, switch.tv/Voch Lombardi. Film is on patreon.com. Voch Lombardi. Will Steele, what you got, sir?
At Skywalker still on Twitter and YouTube, A to Z Sports Dallas.
Appreciate you, sir. Y'all hold down for the Dosey Wilson piece. We can't wait to clock out this month. Volume.
Beats Planet.